Yeah, good, I'm glad you
What's the
remembered.
story with men's though?
Okay.
Sorry, you banged it in.
Noting the time is 5 PM, I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board for Wednesday, August 20th, 2025 to order. Secretary, will you please take the roll?
Commissioner Alper.
Present.
Commissioner Forney.
Here.
Commissioner Menz.
Here.
Commissioner Olson.
Here.
Commissioner Rucker.
Here.
Commissioner Schaefer. Absent Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Vice President Musich.
Present.
President Abeni.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, and I will note that Commissioner Schaefer won't be joining us tonight. The agenda is before us. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move the agenda of Wednesday, August 20th.
Second.
As a point, that's been moved, I will note that we're removing an item from the agenda, unfinished, under unfinished business, discussion item D 2025-56. So is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. One set of minutes, would somebody please move the minutes and read the date?
I'll move our minutes from August 6th, 2025.
Second.
I heard a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes of August 6th, 2025, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed, that carries. Okay, now we're to reports of officers, and I do believe the superintendent has a report for us this evening.
President Ben, I do not have
Okay.
anything. The only thing that I was maybe going to update one was going to be around centralized registration, but I'll do that at the next meeting.
That's,
Is that-
that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now, we'll turn to reports of appointees to outside boards, commissions, or committees. Does anybody have a report? Commissioner Forney.
Actually, I just wanted a question to the superintendent, if that's possible.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, unfortunately, we've had some heat days, and I was just wondering if we could get a report at some point in time about the air conditioning that is not in many of our rec centers, and just what the status of that is. I think it's a real concern for everybody, and I'd love a report on that. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody? Commissioner Menz.
This might be a petitions and communications thing, but I did go to the Sparked Studios display, and it was amazing. And I'm hoping that those young people who worked in employment with the Spark Studios over the summer would come and like almost display in the lobby before we come in, because I think all of us should see the projects and the work that was done in youth employment there, especially since it's a new program and one of the superintendent's initiatives. So just wanted to highlight that that was a really amazing experience as a school teacher and as a commissioner.
Thank you. Yes, that probably is more of a P&C, but thank you. Vice President Musich.
Thank you, President Abeni. I would like to share with my colleagues that the Minneapolis Parks Foundation has selected an executive director. Martin Wera has joined the foundation as the executive director effective September 8th. He's got a lot of experience here in Minnesota with nonprofits, including extensive experience fundraising, which is going to be a big deal with the endowment that we kicked off this year with them. So I'm very excited to meet him and get to know him a little bit more and work together to make sure that we have those philanthropic funds to be able to put towards all of the initiatives at the park board here.
Thank you. I'll say that I'll mention the BET meeting, Board of Estimate and Taxation meeting I attended last Wednesday, the 13th. Toward the end of the meeting, the mayor was asked to recap his recommended levy numbers. The mayor's recommended budget was presented that morning downtown. And so just for awareness, and more will come from, to the board from the staff, but right now the mayor did move from the 1.37 number to 4.92% levy increase. But then there was good discussion, I would say, among the members of the BET after the mayor gave his recap, where the members are still concerned that there might still be too big of a gap for the parks. And so there was, I would say, strong support for the park board, regardless of what happens, but that the BET members signaled. So I think that was very encouraging. I'll also note that I do have to make two appointments tonight. Vice President Musich just mentioned the endowment through the Parks Foundation. There'll be a new committee there called the Joint Endowment Committee, and we'll need to appoint 2 commissioners. The work will begin next month in September, and it would be a monthly responsibility. So at this time, I will appoint Vice President Musich and Commissioner Rucker. I'll also mention, I forgot to mention at the beginning, in addition to our regular open time at 5:30, we do have a 5:45 public hearing. So with that, why don't we go ahead and move to the consent business?
I'll move the consent, the resolutions as a slate.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent items as a slate, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning Committee, I'd like to move Resolution 2025-153, a resolution granting a temporary easement to SAC Construction LLC, contractor for Metropolitan Council Environmental Services for a sanitary sewer interceptor, rehabilitation project located adjacent to Boston Field Park.
Is there-
Second.
Okay, heard a second. Is there any discussion about this item? Vice President Musich.
Thank you, President Abeni. Do we know if there's anyone on staff know if this is going to address the sewer smells that pervade the corner of the park immediately adjacent to this area? That residents and park users have been asking for the Met Council to address for a very, very long time.
Welcome, Ms. Downey.
Good evening, Commissioner Musich, President Abeni. I honestly don't know, but I would think so. This is a rehab project, this is only the phase 1, the contractor's trailer. And
Okay.
phase 2 will be coming probably in the next month or two, next month potentially. And I would only guess that it's going to address that also, seeing as the system needed to be rehabbed. And it's going to take a little bit of time for them to do that also. But Met Council will be here for phase 2.
For phase 2, okay.
I'm sorry, I
Then
didn't
I'll
have
put
them
a
come in,
pin
so-
in that and ask them that question when they're here
Okay.
next month. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you. I don't know, I know a little something about this subject, and if people do notice odors, there's Met Council has an odor complaint line, and I think they'll be made more aware of problem areas if people make complaints. Okay. So is there any other discussion about this item? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and go to a vote. All those in favor of Resolution 2025? Oh, roll call. See, it says right here, roll call. Roll call. Yeah. Secretary, would you please take the roll? Thank you.
Commissioner Elper.
Aye.
Commissioner Forney.
Aye.
Commissioner Menz.
Aye.
Commissioner Olson.
Aye.
Commissioner Rucker.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer. Absent. Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Vice President Musich.
Aye.
President Abeni.
Aye,
You have 8 ayes, 1 absent.
thank you. That motion carries.
I move Resolution 2025-154, resolution granting access and utility agreement to CenterPoint Energy for an underground natural gas line within Minnehaha Parkway Regional Trail at Columbus Avenue South and collecting appropriate fees associated with the license.
Second.
Is there discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to would take this one to a roll call as well. Secretary, will you please take the roll?
Commissioner Elper.
Aye.
Commissioner Forney.
Aye.
Commissioner Menz.
Aye.
Commissioner Olson.
Aye.
Commissioner Rucker.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer, absent. Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Vice President Musich.
Aye.
President Abeni.
Aye,
You have 8 ayes, 1 absent.
thank you. So, we are cruising right down, and we have one item under new business. It's a discussion item. No, that one's been pulled, so that's what I mentioned at
okay.
the beginning.
Sorry.
Nope. So it's a discussion item honoring Sarah Chelstrom and Peter Jager for winning 2 MPRA awards of excellence for the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board's Backyard Chicken Series. I totally want to see this.
I
Yes.
can't wait for you to see it. It looks like there is an error, though, and this was meant to be put on a different agenda, so a future meeting. So I don't know how we,
So we're gonna pull this too?
yeah, we might have to pull it or table it. I don't know.
Maybe a
what the-
point of information. I wonder if the wrong one was marked. So is the new Nicollet project update on for tonight or not?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Do we want to table it?
Well, in this case, yep, Secretary.
Do we know which meeting that you wanted
The
on?
Thursday meeting in September. I don't know.
And do we know what agenda?
25th? Oh, okay.
Think
I
it was
think
an
this
error.
isn't an action item. This is more of just a study item. So
Yep.
I think we can just, I don't think you have to pull it or postpone it
It
or
wasn't moved, yeah.
table it. We'll just bring it back. Yep.
Okay.
So,
Calendar, that's a new one.
So we would like to recalendar this. It's no longer part of our agenda for meeting in September. Do I need to know the date?
it will be September 25th.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like, and be waiting on the edge of your seats because it's worth it.
I'm sure of that. Okay. Okay, thank
Is
you.
anybody going to bring chickens?
I was actually going to raise that issue, Commissioner Forney. Should I bring my backyard chickens to the meeting? Darn it.
Okay, well, with that, we could do petitions and communications, and then we'll recess until, likely, I don't know that anyone will go on for 19 minutes, so why don't we go ahead and do petitions and communications? Commissioner Alper.
Great. Well, I would like to say, first of all, it's very nice to see everyone. I'm back, and I just want to say I appreciate everybody's understanding and while I was gone, and happy to be here, and I'll be here strong through the end of 2025. So anyway, I think there's still some left, I believe, some cookies. If anybody,
Yeah.
I'll run them back
Yeah.
after.
Oh,
Oh,
that's the-
Commissioner Menz didn't get any. So first of all, so anyway, my gratitude to all the hard work that's happened this summer and everything that everyone's done. So very appreciative. And then I would also just like to say I've had continued requests coming in about what's the plan for winter 2025-26. And so I would like to request Superintendent Bangora, could you please add the ice rink opening closure plan to your report of officers for next time? People want to know, and it's important that we plan ahead, and we don't let people know at the last minute. So I think those are my two big items, but if I think of more, I'll raise my hand later. Thanks.
There we go. Okay, Commissioner Menz.
Thanks. I would like to say that I'd just like to acknowledge all the support that people have shown me, as I'm not going to run for another term, so it's going to be, I'm going to be strong for the remainder of this term and make sure that we get a good budget. But I just wanted to just comment that it's just been overwhelming to realize that this job will be ending, but that people really appreciate what you do in service to the community. So thank you for that, to all those folks. I would also like to reiterate, Commissioner Alper, people do want to know about ICE, Northeast Ice Arena too. I mean, I know that was kind of a target during the budget retreats because of the money. So I think that looking for a plan around that will be essential. Yesterday, we had our annual meeting with the school board, which is always a really encouraging space to be in. I think that our boards work really well together when we work together, but we really don't work together. We're like separate. And I think that every time I come out of those meetings, it feels like there's more action that's necessary. And I think that we even saw yesterday that there's so much opportunity for us to do the work of the people of Minneapolis together, and even between boards, and how we like look for capital dollars or things that might take a lot of board actions. And I'd really encourage us to kind of lean into that even more over the next few years. And I hope that we can get some actions that come out of that, maybe even more than one meeting a year that's put together, a little, at the last minute. It just always seems rushed, and I think that the work deserves attention long-term by the boards, and hopefully we can work on that in the future.
Commissioner Thompson.
Thank you. I will just say one thing, as people know, I'm in different parts of the city right now and talking with a lot of residents, and I actually something came up with Commissioner Alper, and you haven't been here, and I just wanted to say how many residents have told me how much they appreciated the work you were doing, especially around Cooper Playground. And it came up repeatedly, and I said to people, I was sorry that we as a board couldn't ultimately do things, but I just wanted to pass that on, that your name has come up in a positive, very positive light. So, it reminded me that each of us over our time has had different responsibilities, not just in our roles within, committees or whatever, but just we're representing different people, and so hearing that it just reminded me, and so I just wanted to pass that on, that you were very much appreciated, and I apologize that we couldn't figure it out for people, but that's all I have. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Forney?
Yes, I want to do my normal gig, and that is wish a happy birthday to somebody who isn't here. I was expecting. Anyway, Director Wiseman, happy birthday to you. We have a card somewhere running around here. Yes, on Monday is her birthday, so everybody make sure to give her a big hug and embarrass her. Thank you. That's it.
Commissioner Olson?
Just recommend that I don't know if folks saw it, but on the Star Tribune, they had a really good article on water quality in Minneapolis parks and kind of how far we've come and how far we have to go, and how we have a couple lakes, Nokomis and Hiawatha, that still need some help, and that's why we're doing some great things, and coincided obviously with the new Hiawatha designs, which I am super pumped about, and so it's very exciting to kind of see that progress continue to move forward. So check out that article if you will, folks.
Thank you. Commissioner Rucker?
Pass.
Vice President Musich?
Thank you, President Abeni. In addition to the great article about the past work done around water quality and the gains that have been made, our board president also wrote a great letter to the editor reminding the Star Tribune that we've been working really hard as a board to advance a lot of initiatives to improve water quality in the city. So, I'm hopeful that they'll do a follow-up piece that really talks about some of that work and helps people get excited so that they can also express their support to the other government agencies that need to help fund those projects. That remains to be seen whether or not that happens, but I'm hopeful that they'll want to do a story on that, because I think there's some really exciting things in the pipeline that are coming in terms of water quality improvement. Other than that, I thank everyone that reached out to me to share their appreciation for the park board, noting that we needed to share the trails and be respectful of each other where we have flooding, both along Minnehaha Creek and within Nokomis Hiawatha Regional Park in my district, because I do know that is very disruptive for folks, but we have been much more proactive in the last few years about posting signage when that happens, and residents are appreciative of that because people are just more respectful when we point out to them that, hey, people don't have a choice about where they are right now because those other trails are underwater. I think that was all I had, so I'm passing it on to you, President Abeni.
Thank you. I think I'll just pass. So with that, I'll recess the full board.
I'd like to convene the Planning Committee here at 5:15 on August 20th. Their secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Alper,
Present.
Commissioner Rucker,
Here.
Commissioner Schaefer, absent. Vice Chair Thompson,
Here.
Chair Forney.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That action carries. I'll take a motion to approve then the two sets of minutes.
I'll move the sorry, please.
Go ahead.
I'll move the minutes from July 16th and August 6th.
Great. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That action carries. Okay, we'll move then to our first resolution. If somebody would like to read that one.
I'll move resolution 2025-160. Resolution approving a 3-year encroachment license for the use of 66.4 square feet of land in front of 1240 West River Parkway, encroaching upon parkland at West River Parkway within Central Mississippi Riverfront Regional Park.
Great. Any questions anybody has? I'm not seeing any lights. Any questions? Oh, so I'm sorry, Commissioner Alper.
Yeah, I thought this one was quite interesting because typically, and staff and commissioners can correct me if I'm wrong, but our licenses are there's no end date. And so this struck me in particular because it's for a 3-year encroachment license, so it has a time-limited time span, but especially because we're approving other ones tonight that we approved at the full board that don't have that time limitation. And so it got me thinking about the value that we have, how we do this. And I guess my comment and question to have a discussion here today is why we don't have a more dedicated program of encroachments, of licensing, and how we determined, the pricing is X, Y, and Z for 3 years, but the other ones, they don't, it's not apples to apples. And so that's, I guess, I don't really need a presentation. I'm fine with approving this tonight, but I just feels like we don't have a program when it comes to licenses. And it really shows tonight because of how these two things are right next to each other on the agenda. And that also made me think, could one of the options be if we were to have, just to simplify how we do these, because it's a comparison of nearby land values, and this one in particular had very few data points, as was noted in the resolution. And so could we just have a flat rate across the city per square foot? I mean, is a piece of parkland really more valuable in one area of the city than another area of the city? Isn't it valuable everywhere?
I don't know if staff wants to respond to that, but I did have some questions about it too. And this is a unique situation. I don't know. Does anybody want to speak to that? Council Rice or Ms. Downey?
Chair Forney, Commissioner Alter. We are following basically the land policy as it refers to these types of matters. And we are, as well as we can, trying to be consistent with what the land policy dictates in terms of that. And we also have practices that we are trying to consistently apply to everyone, including with this instance. I will just specifically say, because of the city's moratorium on being able to utilize roads that were recently redone, that is the only reason why I'm really in this situation. It's only 3 years. We treated, in this instance, just like we treat temporary easements, because it was only 3 years. So the tipping point typically is after 10 years, because that's how we typically do temporary easements. We do 10% per annual basis for temporary easements. So if they needed it for 2 years, of course, it would be only 20% of what we normally charge for a full easement. So that is how that came about in this situation. But we are following the land policy in this instance, and our practices have been consistent, and that's why I'm probably adding more than we need to. But in the instance where there are betterments, that's where it could be mitigated. But we are trying to treat everyone the same.
Great, thank you. And if I could just continue, Chair Forney, with my time. That's great, and thank you for sharing that it came out of the land policy, which obviously is something that President Abeni and I worked on. I'll have to give that another read in light of this situation that is here before us, but it also strikes me if they were to do another, they've got this, in essence, we're charging X amount for 3 years, but if they need it for longer, let's say, then we're gonna charge them again, and so double charge, whereas we don't double charge others. So anyway, it made me think that perhaps it's time to do a holistic relook at this topic.
Thank you. We'll convey that and appreciate it, unless there's, excuse me, yes. Commissioner Thompson. can barely
I just
see.
put my light on, so I'm not surprised you didn't see it. I just would echo that. I think it's just good policy to have a uniform rubric of what we use. So, thanks.
Okay. All right. Not seeing any other lights. All those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That action carries. On to our next resolution, if somebody would be so kind to read it.
I'll move Resolution 2025-161. Resolution granting a permanent easement to the City of Minneapolis for the York Avenue Storm Sewer Outfall Project located within the Minnehaha Parkway Regional Trail and reducing easement fees based upon quantitative betterments.
Thank you. Any questions on this particular? Yes, Commissioner Thompson.
Thank you. Can I just request a presentation if we have one?
Excuse me?
Can I request a little presentation if
Oh,
we have one? I
certainly.
know we might be against open time, but
Okay.
we can figure it out. We've done it before. Thank you, Chair Forney.
Good evening, Chair Forney and Commissioner Thompson. I do have a very brief presentation. It's very basic, but we also have someone here from the city that should be able to present if you have additional questions. Alright, where'd we go? Sorry about this. Why it's not opening. I'm not sure why it's not opening. 1 second. All right. I might ask Secretary Bingold. I'm not sure how to resolve this. Put the mic on. Sorry, there was a little bit of an error there. So this is just basically introducing the resolution. Giving sort of an aerial view of where it is in the city. And this is maybe a little difficult to understand, but as you can see, oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Sorry. This is York. As you can see, it's traveling north-south. The creek is located within those two rectangles. You can see those are our property parcels, both on the left and the right. The rectangles that are longer than the individual private lots. This is basically a Google shot of the cul-de-sac and you can see where the outfall starts there. This is pretty much from the agreement showing the area that is part of the easement for permanent easement and then calculation. Again, this is just showing where the permanent easement is and calculation of the square footage. And this is actually from, I think is actually in the attachments of the easement betterments that are being proposed by the city.
Ms. Downey?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, no, I apologize. We have the open time
Gotcha.
piece, so we'll pause and we'll start open time. Okay, thank you.
I'll recess then the planning committee.
Thank you, Commissioner Forney, Chair Forney. Okay, so I'll start by reading the open time rules. We'd like to thank those of you who have come to speak during tonight's open time. I will call on people from the speaker list only. Names are added to the speaker list by calling in before 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting or by adding it in person at the board meeting before 5:30. The time allotted for all speakers shall not exceed 15 minutes. We have 16 speakers, so I'll set the time at 1 minute per speaker. Times may not be transferred to someone else. Please watch the timer and stay within your allotted time. This is an opportunity for you to address the board. We are listening, but we won't respond. That said, please don't hesitate to contact any of the commissioners for dialogue and further discussion. To protect the privacy of individuals, please refrain from commenting on specific personnel issues or pending litigation. Discriminatory or harassing words directed at anyone will not be tolerated, and each speaker is asked to state their name and where they live. And before I call on the first name, I'll also let you know we have a time certain item at 5:45. So if we're not through the open time, and I don't think we will be, we'll pause the open time. We'll do our other time certain item, but then we'll come back to open time. And I don't think that pause will take long. So with that, the first name is Gary Spears, and then Anu Francis. Gary Spears. Anu Francis. Bill, okay,
No, Gary.
no Gary.
Okay, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to speak on behalf of Phelps Football and why continuing to delay the donation agreement has consequences. It is a mystery to all of us why completing this donation agreement has taken so long. I just want to give you a few reasons why our kids are still there playing football in this terrible dust bowl of a field. Why we are still there breathing the dust, their eyes burning from being surrounded by it. Why they are still there, why they are potentially running a route that can be dangerous due to the ground being so uneven. They are still there because of the belief in the tradition of Phelps football. I suspect that the delay in coming to a donation agreement has to do with football not being the vision that you have for Phelps Park. I encourage all of you to go to the park any given night between 6 and 8 o'clock and see what's going on at that park. What you will see is a park being used by the community, used by the people who love the park and love their community. It is okay to show up and see what's happening at the park. Listen to those that are there, those that you serve. You may realize that your energy and that your money might be best spent getting behind what is already there, what has proven to be successful. We need a donation agreement.
Thank you. Okay, Bill Neuenschwander, followed by Amanda Halbersma. Bill. Amanda Halbersma? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was going to be happening. I didn't realize that was going to be happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of the.
Okay, razzle dazzle. Let's.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
My name's Bill Neuenschwander. I've had the pleasure of having a Segway tour business longer than anybody else in the world. We started this in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2003. Tomorrow's my 23rd anniversary, launched at the State Fair. And we plan on doing another 20 years, and we want to basically start working with the Minneapolis Park Board, understanding what we're building for a new platform. Segway was designed by a company out in the East Coast. It was utilized for the fact that this is going to be a transportation solution. We thought it was more of a recreation or an entertainment solution, but a great platform for showing the best park system in the world. I go along West River Parkway. I go around your whole entire park system. This is the most, I'm so proud of our city for what we have because I get to bring people in from all over the world and they go, how in the hell do you guys pull this off? I tell them we have a long winter to stare out the windows and look at how beautiful of a spring that we're going to have. And fortunately, this has been something I've been able to share. Gets the date. What sustains the relationship is your system and your park. What we want to build for the future is a new machine that's going to be more accommodating to everybody. And I would like to ask you guys to participate in what we're working on and have feedback for us is what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Amanda Halbersma. Oh.
Hi, I'm Amanda Halbersma. I'm here to speak about the Phelps Field donation as well. As a longtime resident and voter in this great city of Minneapolis, I am deeply perplexed to watch an unequitable situation unfold just a few blocks from George Floyd Square. Imagine, if you will, the national news media once again ascending for an update on the city's leadership, only to find a local park that serves as a central location, a mecca for football, for a boys and girls club, dedicated to serving Black and brown communities, visibly neglected in comparison to other parks. Now, it'd be a travesty to let our opportunity to educate the world on equity slip away. I don't know if it's about football. These kids are doing the right thing. They're focused on healthy behaviors, and I urge you to really consider the impact you'll be having on the community if you make it the decision to make good on your promise and the donation here. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Nigel Halbersma, followed by Jason McGinley.
Good afternoon. My name is Nigel Halbersma. I'm from the northeast area in Minneapolis. And the reason why I travel all the way to South Minneapolis just to play football is because there really is no other kid like me in northeast Minneapolis who can play football with me or toss the ball around. I love Phelps because I get to play football, work my heart out almost every day, and work my heart out trying to get better, trying to move myself forward into a healthier direction, but it's just harder. It's harder to do it because I had to travel so far, and so just to travel so far and so hard just to play football. And I really wish that other kids who live in that area get to experience the same fun as I have. But it's just hard right now because Phelps isn't safe enough to practice. I want a better practice space so I can maximize my potential. Thank you.
Thank you. Jason McGinley, followed by Jermaine Hunter.
My name is Jason McGinley. I'm from South Minneapolis. I've been a coach at Phelps Park since 2010, and I've seen the product that we can produce with these kids here, and the field really, really, really is mandatory. We really need that. So I'm gonna ask you guys to please consider opening up the donation again. They need it. It's a lot of them, and they do great things. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Jermaine Hunter, followed by Brian Walters.
How's it going? I've been a coach at Phelps for a long time. Just looking at these kids right now, I done coached most of their older brothers. These the younger brothers of just generations of the same kids. And I remember telling their older brothers, yeah, we ain't about to practice on this field too long. It ain't about to be like this. It's not about to be, it's not even grass, it's dirt, and then rocks. And then people that take their dogs out and they walk their dogs in the dog excrement, beer bottles, that's the stuff we deal with. If we had the donation there. The NFL donated, MLB donated. I understand, only people we're waiting for is you guys. You understand? So they depended on you, we depended on you, the community supports us. We one of the biggest programs in the city, playing football. I don't think you guys can come up with another park that's even playing football like us at all. There's not, I remember when my son started at Phelps, there was a Minneapolis Park and Rec League. And we were playing Farview, we were playing Falwell, and we were playing all the parks. That's not even possible no more. POW, it's not even possible no more. We can't even have a home game on our field when we got all these other teams out there that want to play us. we can't even play in Minneapolis because there's nowhere to play for us. So we got to start doing some work.
Thank you. Brian Walters, followed by Rain Walters. Brian Walters.
Brian Walters here. I've been a coach at Phelps Park for 6 or 7 years now. I'm also the owner of a construction company, Yellow Tree, that's offering to build this facility or build this new field for no fee. Their donations that have been raised are dedicated for this project. This would be fiscally irresponsible to not allow us to try and continue to finish this project when you have the hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been raised for it, and just give us the opportunity to try and complete this project is all we're asking for here. Phelps provides an invaluable service to all these kids. This isn't even half. There's hundreds of kids on the football rosters right now that need this field. They have to stop traveling to go play anywhere. Teams won't come here. They need a place to play. Give them the opportunity to play on a real football field. Thank you.
Rain Walters, followed by Richard Evans.
So, me and my teammates are here to encourage you to donate for the fields. It's really bad. We get cuts and bruises every practice. And I've noticed that when we go to other fields, it's always better than ours, and teams don't want to come to our field because of how bad it is. And I just really encourage you to help us out. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Evans, followed by Monisha Walters.
Richard Evans, resident of South Minneapolis. I have been assisting coaching at Phelps for the past 3 years. And the field on there, how many boys that I've patched up over the past couple weeks have been ridiculous. I encourage all of you to take 10, 15 minutes out of your day and come down and visit the field. You will see what it is. I worked for Cliff Landscaping for 30 plus years. And I've seen some of the football fields that have been in other cities. The one that we are currently playing at, no team wants to come to. We can't even house a home game. I mean, I just encourage you guys to actually think about it. These kids are our generation, for the next generation. And I encourage you guys to think about it. Take the time and come down and look at it. Make the decision for yourself.
Thank you. Monique Walters.
Okay, hi, my name's Monisha. I live in South Minneapolis. I'm also a coach for Phelps, not football, but I have 2 sons that play. We just don't understand why the agreement's not signed. We have money raised, we're working hard. We have over 10 teams of football players. We keep these kids out of trouble. I mean, as a coach, we're with them all of the time, even outside of the football season. So we know these kids, they need a field. We're traveling to Blaine. We're traveling everywhere. We're giving these kids rides. We are the coaches that are doing that, and we just want a field playable, suitable to host a home game. So at least half of our schedule is not outside of Minneapolis. You guys are representing the #1 Park and Recs program, and we cannot, through football, we don't see it. None of these teams will come to Minneapolis to play. I am a physical therapist. I was here I think last week or the week before that. It is hazardous. So you guys, if you can come down, see it, walk around. I mean, just like one of the other parents said, there's dogs running around during practice, which, you know, because I'm sure people don't think it's suitable to actually play on, but it's hazardous. We really need you guys to support this.
Thank you. James Halber, followed by Richard Evans.
All right, I know I've been here several times. I know I've talked to Charles about trying to get this donation agreement tonight. Superintendent Bangora, you promised me when we saw each other at McRae that you were excited about this and you were going to get it done. What is your word good for if you're not going to call me back and get this done for these kids? Look at them. You don't care about those kids? You don't care if they're ingesting dirt. You don't care if they got to come down there and want to go home because they don't have a decent field plan. What is your word good for? You looked me right in the eye and said, I'm passionate about this. I'm going to get it done. And you haven't called me back since or even responded to an email. Don't look at me. Look at the kids. Tell them. Tell them why you didn't call me back. Tell me why you didn't email me. Charles, you could have been on it too. Okay. Man, you know for Pal, you've been there. Come on, fam. Man, you've been through this. We're just trying to help these kids. You're not looking at me. I know a lot of you don't like it when I come because you think you're dealing with me. It's not about me. It's of all these kids that you guys are disrespecting, all these kids that you're pushing to the side, and you're thinking you're just somebody that's not even worthy of your time or a donation agreement. It ain't even your money. That's the stupid part about it. You're neglecting, as you said, irresponsible, fiscally irresponsible to let that money slide.
Thank you. Okay, so with that, we have to pause the open time. We do have a few more people that have signed up to speak, but we'll have to, can you come back in a minute? We'll come back in a minute. We have to do another time certain item, as I said at the beginning of this, for a public hearing, so I will not read the public hearing rules. Do we have any speakers? We have 2, okay. So I will, but bear with me a minute here. Okay, so now I will open the public hearing for the naming of Marcy Park to Dinky Park. And the rules are basically the same as we read for open time. There are 2 speakers, so we will do up to 3 minutes per person. And I don't have the names yet, so I can't call them. We have to just wait 1 second, guys. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So again, up to 3 minutes per person. The first person I'll call is Vic Thorntonson.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Vic Thorstenson, and I was the chair of the Mercy Homes Neighborhood Association at the time that this initiative started. It was an effort on our part to solve 2 problems. One was the fact that Marcy School sat on the Holmes Park site, and everybody thought Holmes Park was Marcy Park. And the other was Marcy Park being located in a neighborhood that had one time been hoped would adopt the name Marcy as a neighborhood, but never did. People said, oh, that's Dinky Town. That was tried for some 45 years ago, and the name Marcy for that community never caught on. People thought it would catch on as part of the old school name, but people, since the school moved over to the home school site, that didn't happen. So we used it as an opportunity to make it a community outreach, particularly on the Dinkytown community, which is 99+% student these days. I think we identified only 5 actual homeowners in the district, in that 10,000 or so population area now. And so it's important for us to get them engaged and to have them feel like they're part of a community, not just hoteling for 4 years and then leaving. We want them to be invested in the neighborhood. So we started with a petition drive to change the name of the park and then take suggestions for a park name. We solicited names. We got a lot of suggestions. Then we sent out a mailing to every single household in the district, every household address that we had in the Mercy Homes neighborhood, not just around the park, but the whole neighborhood area. And we received quite a few responses, and of which the name Dinky Park came out number 1, followed by Dinkytown Park, down a few percentage points from that. So I just want to encourage you to respect that process, that we did quite a bit of community engagement to try to get folks involved with choosing a new park name, which just wasn't working. You guys did a wonderful job of rehabilitating that park and listening to the community. It is well used. I'm happy to say the basketball courts, the dog park, the hammocking area, the swings, that gets good usage at all points of the day. And I'm happy to report that people are really grateful for it. All it needs now is the name, and the name they wish you to choose is Dinky Park. So thank you very much. Take any questions you have.
Thank you. The next name is Hirsch Berman.
Good afternoon. I'm Hirsch Berman, and I'm advisor to a college fraternity located at 1115 5th Street Southeast, which is just 2 blocks from what is now called Marcy Park. And I represent the students, the undergrads, and they come in, you know, a fresh batch every year. They have absolutely no connection to the name Marcy Park, but they do know what Dinkytown is. And they would associate with the park much better and feel much more at home if the park was a recognizable name. So I just encourage you to change the name of the park to something that reflects the community. Thank you.
Thank you. So before I close the public hearing for the renaming of Marcy Park to Dinky Park, I will ask if there's anybody else here that would like to speak to that. Anybody else that would like to speak to the renaming? Okay, great. Come on up and just state your name.
Yes, hello, my name is Kim Hansen, and I was the president of the association after Vic and was very involved in this effort. I think that it just encapsulates a little bit better what this area is. Marcy Homes is a little confusing based on how it is, and there's a history that is not so fortunate with the names of those 2 individuals that we named this after, our community. We're not asking you to change the name of the community. We're asking you to change the name of the park to better reflect what the students want, where it's located, and frankly, a lot of people voted on this. And so we really want to take that into consideration. We're asking you to take that into consideration and make sure that we can reflect this hard work that our neighborhood association, we're all volunteers. We want to work as liaisons from the city to our residents and do things like this that really benefit our community. So we're asking you to approve the name change based on the data that we provided and the community engagement and the desire. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this public hearing for the naming of the park? Anyone else? Okay, with that, I'll close the public hearing and I'll return to open time, but I wonder if our speakers left, actually. So I believe we were, next on the list was Richard. Evan, maybe? Then Brandon Owens. Danielle Cyrus. Don Anthony. Gary Spears. Okay, I think no one has stayed. So with that, I will close open time, and without objection, I'll adjourn the full board meeting.
I think I need to reconvene then the planning committee, and I'm sorry, I don't remember where we were at exactly.
We're in a presentation.
Presentation of
That's what I thought.
161.
Okay, thank you. Oh, that's right, we were queuing it up and the technical difficulties. Take it again, Ms. Downey.
All right, Chair Forney and forget who was it. Was it Alper? I'm sorry, Commissioner Alper Thompson, was it?
Right.
Sorry, my apologies. So I was actually on the last page of my presentation, and it was referencing the betterments that were submitted by the city, sort of fully explaining how the betterments work. And it is a lot more detailed than I typically have answers for. But if you have additional questions regarding what I believe is either in the packet or the agreement, on the betterments, we do have some here from the city if you have additional questions, and they do have a presentation if you like that also.
Sorry, I'm going to defer to President Abendi if that's okay with President or Chair Forney regarding questions.
Yeah, President Abene.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize, my hearing is getting worse, so I didn't hear what you said at the very end there, but now you got the prompt. So thank you. And I'm not on this committee, Chair Forney, so thank you for letting me speak. This project caught my eye partly because it's in my district, and also I'm aware just from the partnership that exists between the City of Minneapolis, the Park Board, and the Watershed District about this work that the city is advancing to get rid of the spillway at York. So, but I took a look in the packet materials. There were, and I don't know that you have it in the presentation, there were items that were shown in the overall plan. Although a larger pipe is coming to the creek, it's being brought in at a lower level, down at the water level, essentially. And there are a number of BMPs to treat stormwater that are part of this system. And I don't think it would be inappropriate for me to ask, maybe, I see Kelly Moriarty from the cities here, ask the city engineers to give a little bit of information about the treatment that's associated with this system. Is that inappropriate? Okay.
I don't believe it is.
Okay.
I do have Rose Stanglin, I believe, from the city, who will be able to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, grateful you're here.
So you can either use this or that, if you like. Yep.
President Abeni, Chair Forney, Commissioners. I do have just a short presentation I could just go through if that's okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you for the
We
opportunity.
like visuals.
Yes. So I'm a professional engineer with Minneapolis Public Works. This is an overview of a storm sewer rehabilitation project that includes the outfall in Minnehaha Creek Park. And we're seeking a permanent drainage easement in this area. So this is an overview of the project, several blocks of aging and undersized storm sewer in the Fulton neighborhood. And the city's using this project as an opportunity to also address flooding in the streets and alleys and to reduce and remove pollutants from stormwater flowing to Minnehaha Creek and to replace the failing sluiceway in the park. So flood mitigation and water quality improvements will be accomplished by installing substantial concrete storage chambers under 53rd Street. These boxes will be able to hold large amounts of rainwater and will allow some of that water to soak into the ground or infiltrate. By infiltrating, we'll be reducing the amount of pollutants that flowing into Minnehaha Creek. The city's decided to increase the size of the boxes needed for flood storage in order to provide additional volume for that infiltration and that water quality benefit at an additional cost of about $250,000. And that's entirely voluntary. There's no regulatory requirements that the city do that. So the sluiceway will also be replaced at the south end of York. It's more than 90 years old. You can see it's obviously in pretty poor condition. We'll be replacing this with a drop structure and a pipe. We've done engineering analysis to make sure there's not going to be scour or erosion caused by the pipe. And by removing all this concrete and replacing it with a deeper pipe, we'll be able to revegetate a substantial amount of the stream bank to put it to a more park-like condition. The land that the sluiceway is on actually was city street right-of-way in the early 1900s, before the park board realigned the creek and formed the park. Despite having always been a drainage way, there's no record of an easement here, so we're seeking to formalize an agreement at this point. So that concludes my presentation.
Yes,
Thank you.
Representative Bennett?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's exciting, and I think for my colleagues, I just point out there were many measures there that the city was doing: storage, infiltration, and there were some devices to take sediment and nutrients out of the water as well. So the water coming to the creek in this location will, from the drainage area that's being served, will be improved. And I also just really want to appreciate, because that was in the packet materials as well, that you're exceeding the minimum, and I think it's. I'll sort of say that with my citizen hat, I think you saw an opportunity, probably without a lot of additional expense, to exceed the minimum, and I think that's really great. So I appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Commissioner Muse, or Vice President Musich?
Thank you very much, Chair Forney. I'm not on this committee, so I also appreciate being given an opportunity to speak. As Commissioner Benny mentioned, this is an exciting thing that we're seeing come forward in front of us today. It's also one of the first 3 locations along Minnehaha Creek that the steering committee looked at in terms of feasibility for improvements. This is the first project coming before us. There's another one coming probably a little bit later this year for further down the creek, closer to Cedar Avenue. And so just to see that work that we're doing with the 3 agencies working together to figure out where we can make the biggest improvements for the biggest bang for our communal buck is really exciting to see that we're finally moving forward with some projects. So this is just the first of what I expect to be hundreds, if not thousands, of projects that are going to come before our board and the boards of the Watershed District in the city of Minneapolis. So those of you that get to vote on this, I'm jealous and enjoy the joy of getting to be that first vote on the first of many projects to make the water quality in Minneapolis amazing. And I look forward to joining you at our next meeting when it comes before the full board.
Oh, not seeing any other lights. Thank you very much for the presentation. And I think then I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That action carried, and I will adjourn the meeting here at 6:02.
Excellent. The time being 6:02 p.m. I will call to order the Administration and Finance Committee. Secretary Ringgold, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Alper.
Present.
Commissioner Forney.
Here.
Commissioner Rucker.
Here.
Vice Chair Schaefer. Absent. Chair Thompson.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Would someone like to move our agenda?
I so move.
All those in favor of our agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we've got an agenda. Someone like to move our minutes from the 16th?
We'll move our minutes from July 16th, 2025.
Thank you. All those in favor of adding the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we've got some minutes. Would someone like to move our first resolution? It's a fun one.
I'll move Resolution 2025-166, resolution amending and extending a concessions agreement with the Ghost Dancer LLC, DBA Awamni by the Sous Chef, to operate as the food and catering vendor at Waterworks in Mill Ruins Park.
Thank you. Would anyone like a presentation? Anyone curious? Oh, yes. Do we have a small present? It's interesting, so I appreciate that, Commissioner Alper.
Good evening, Chair Thompson, Commissioners. I don't have a nice slide presentation, and I wish I could have brought some food, but that would be against the ethical of the board. So I'm just going to give you a quick, brief background of where we're at and why we're here tonight. So this action would amend and extend the concession agreement with Ghost Dancer Awamni by the Sous Chef for continued operation of beverage and concessions at Waterworks. The board approved the original agreement back in 2020. and they completed the Waterworks Pavilion in 2021, and the sous chef started shortly after that. For those not familiar with Awamni, it's a full-service indigenous restaurant created by the sous chef to promote native food sovereignty, provide employment for native staff, and elevate traditional North American indigenous cuisine. In 2023, ownership of the business was transferred to the North American Traditional Indigenous Food Systems, NATIVs. And with that, all revenues from the concession now support the educational and cultural mission of NATIVs rather than individual profits. The original agreement was modeled after other MPRB seasonal operations such as sea salt, tin fish at the time, bread and pickle, counter service concession contracts. However, since its opening, Awamni is involved in a national recognized full service dining destination. In 2022, the restaurant was awarded the James Beard Foundation Best New Restaurant, cementing its reputation as a primary destination for our parks. Given the distinct operation of Awamni, rooted in indigenous food systems, seasonal availability, and cultural significant sourcing, staff is recommending amending the agreement to better reflect the realities of the business operation. Unlike traditional concessions, Awamni sources ingredients that are often foraged, grown by tribal producers, and often or otherwise limited to quantity and seasonality. This results in a menu that changes frequently, cannot be restocked easily, and once popular items are sold out, and procurement is at a much higher price point. Operating a grab-and-go or a high-volume model would conflict with their mission and rather strain their supply constraints. Additionally, due to seating limitations and high public interest, Awamni has implemented a reservation system to ensure consistency and equitability dining experience. To ensure financial sustainability and mission alignment, the proposed amendment revises the rent structure, and the term of the agreement would be extended from the current expiration of April of 2026 through December 31st, 2023 with a 5-year renewal option. And I will stand for any questions anybody has.
Thank you. Yeah, Commissioner Alper.
Yeah, thank you for that. I do have a couple questions. I guess I do appreciate the changes in the language that you're making with the contract, because it did seem kind of complicated with looking at it. If you're between this X and Y revenue, then you pay this amount. And if you go over that, then you pay more. And this seems to simplify it a lot. So I liked that part. But I guess I have two questions. I'm wondering what's the difference in revenue to the park board that you can anticipate, just knowing that we rely on fees, and we all know that we're in a budget crisis, and that we're very reliant on property taxes. So I just want to, I'm wondering what the implications for the park board is with this.
Sure.
That's question one.
Yeah, okay. Chair Thompson, Commissioner Alper. It is a reduction in the revenue that we had been collecting. The sous chef notified us that they were leaving because they couldn't afford their rent, so to speak, how it was currently structured. It's a unique structure in that we do percentages, and I'll give you a good example. You could buy a pound of hamburger probably for $5 to $8 a pound. They don't serve hamburger, they serve bison, which is a higher price point. So already they're paying a higher percentage because we're a percentage based on how we do things. Traditionally in downtown, you pay base rent. And so it is a minor adjustment. I will point out that in 2017, we did a pro forma and what we thought we could do based off of our other concessions within our operation. Even with this agreement, that exceeds what we had anticipated. So if I would move sea salt to this location, now granted sea salt, yes, they generate a lot of revenue. However, they have a larger footprint, they have more seating, they have a larger storage capacity. They would probably not come close to what they're going to be currently paying right now, what Awamni currently pays us right now. Any concession you put in there is going to be limited on your seats and how much your plant can push out and how much storage you have. So we have that already constrained as an example, at Bread and Pickle. Bread and Pickle does about $1.5 million a year. It's the most they're ever going to probably do, because at full capacity, their plant can only produce so much. So that's the kind of limitation. So the way that the old contract was percentage-based throughout the whole year, and with higher price points of what they're procuring, they're starting at a $20 versus somebody that can call up Cisco and get hamburger or, you know, any protein or anything like that at a reduced rate. So it's a kind of a unique little model. Yes, it is a reduction. However, if they were to leave and we were to put somebody else in there, we wouldn't see this revenue.
Yes, Secretary, no, I'm gonna guess this is in your deputy superintendent hat. Yeah, Ringgold, please.
Chair Thompson, Commissioner Alper, there was another piece in your question that referred to property tax and revenue and kind of the pressures that we have there. I think, and I was waiting to see if Shane would talk about this, but this is a micro enterprise, so there's no general fund funding or taxpayer dollar that's used to support this facility or the park that it's in, which is, it's only one of two micro enterprises we have in the system. The other one is the sculpture garden. So this, if we don't make, if we don't cover the expenses with the revenue generated in that park, the enterprise fund is the one that provides the resources to cover the expenses of that park. It never falls into the general fund.
Thank you for that clarification. Sorry, no, please go
Great.
ahead.
Thank you. Well, I guess I have a follow-up to that first question, and I guess I'm wondering, what are we, just, can you tell us plainly, like, how much of a revenue reduction are we anticipating?
Chair Thompson, Commissioner Alper, it's around, I have to look exactly at the number, around 100, maybe a little less than 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'm wondering how this change in the contract terms will impact the relationship that we have with our other vendors. And I guess what I want to know is, are they going to say, hey, what about us? This isn't fair. I had these previous terms and they applied and to us as, you know, we have the same deal going on. Yeah. Maybe not with the food necessarily, but, you know, with other terms of the contract.
Commissioner Alper, I think I would point out with the food prices, number one, you know, how the other concessionaires source their product versus how Awamni sources their product is completely different in the sense that their menu is constant. This menu changes weekly. I learn things from them every time I meet with them, and we meet with them twice a month. And, you know, the product that they serve, how they serve it, how it's produced. The second thing is it's a year-round operation versus the other ones that are seasonal operations. So we have built-in mechanisms at our other concessions that have extended seasons that do reduce the rent at those given times. So the reduction, a lot of the reduction you see is actually in the off-season, more so than the peak season. But they do operate year-round, whereas the other concessions close for the season.
Okay. Great. I guess I see where you're going with this. I mean, from the outside looking in, without the further explanation that you gave us today, what we hear about in the papers and what I've seen, because I still have not yet been able to get a reservation at Awamni. So I look forward to eating there someday. But I guess what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is that this is an extremely, maybe, this is a restaurant operation that's doing extremely well. And so I don't see the struggle that necessitated this, is what I'm saying. And so I guess I'm willing to go along with it. I see the argument that you're making, certainly in terms of percentages, that the larger the price point, the bigger the dollar figure ends up being, even if your percentage is the same. I mean, it's the same with salary increases, right? If somebody who makes $50,000 gets a 3% raise and somebody who makes $200,000 gets a 3% raise, it's not the same dollar amount that is ultimately being paid. But so I guess I'm going to vote yes, but I have concerns about the other concessions and are we being fair to them?
Yeah, Commissioner Forney.
Thank you for the presentation. Yes, Owamni is very, very unique, and I really appreciate the adaptation you've made, because if I hear you correctly, they were willing to leave, and we will never, ever be able to replace the revenue that they presently are bringing. So I think this is a fine adjustment, and somebody can correct me, but my understanding is you can always walk to them or go to them, and they have no reservations for patio. So just realize that you always can go, and so I know that it's hard to get into the actual restaurant, but anyway, I always share that with people.
I could just add.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
There was a time when it was really hard to get in, and I don't disagree with that. In visiting with them, they've kind of plateaued a little bit, so if you come in the afternoon for lunch, you can get in a lot of times, and they've also opened up other seats and seats inside in the wintertime on their kind of rail bar area that is open to the public. So I worked with them really hard. We worked with them really hard to make sure that people could go there, and it wasn't strictly a reservation. Understanding when you win an award and who you are, there's a lot of interest at the beginning, but that has somewhat peaked and is plateaued to the point that folks are able to go on a Friday night. You might get turned away, but there is patio seating, like you pointed out. But go on a Tuesday, you probably get in just fine.
Excellent. Thank you for troubleshooting all my inability to eat
Oh, more
there.
lights. Look what we've started. I will go to Commissioner Menz, even though he's not on the committee, but you are next.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me speak, even though I'm not on the committee. I have been to Owamni a couple of times. My wife loves the restaurant. It's an incredible place. But I think that Commissioner Alper raises some really good points about how we handle concessions, like not only now, but into the future. I like how we're saying that Owamni was willing to leave, but we all exist in capitalism, and there's probably demand for that service. And I think that Owamni has become a place of destination, a place of tourism, a place of value to us as well that's not just mitigated in the concession agreement. But I think Commissioner Alper's concerns really do raise those concession agreements. As somebody who's tried to go through a concession agreement with the park board, the percentages can be limiting for new concessionaires. If every situation is unique, we should present it that way. And we should have guidelines, but we should also try and figure out how we treat each concessionaire with its own unique gloves. And I think we do that in a lot of ways. But I think when we're looking at new revenue or new micro enterprises, or new, and that's a bad term because we only have 2 of those, but new micro enterprises not outside of the park board, like micro entrepreneurship within the park board, that we lead with that like we want to work with you. We think that this is value, and how do we get you in here so that we get those more tourist spots, because those partners are gonna bring that, and I think that's really important for the city. Thank you for raising those questions, Commissioner Alper.
Chair Rucker.
Yeah, question.
Or Chair, Commissioner, sorry. I'm the chair.
Well, how about, the revenue? How much revenue comes to the park board from Owamni, and compared to the other restaurants?
Chair Thompson, Commissioner Rucker. So each concession's a little different based off of, again, seating capacity, what their capacities are. I believe I did a report at the beginning of the year that kind of outlined all the revenues that each concession currently generates. If not, I can definitely provide that report again. So each one is unique. Again, Sea Salt generates the most, obviously, because they have the storage capacity. They also have the seating capacity to handle what they do. When we look at, for example, Lake Harriet, very small building. I think Bread and Pickle does a great job given the limitations that they have. Yes, they have a lot of seating. However, very, very limited storage, very, very little plant, we call it, to produce. When we worked with Pimento at Bedé-McCoska, we did structure that so that we didn't hit them right off the bat with a high percentage. We definitely worked with them as a new entrepreneur coming in. And as you recall, when we passed that a few years ago, we staggered that percentage as we went. So I don't have the exact numbers as to what the sous chef is currently did in the last year off the top of my head. I can for sure get that to you. But I can tell you that where we landed in negotiations, and this was a very lengthy negotiation with them. We didn't want to lose them. All parties feel very comfortable on where we're at with them. It still comes in at around, I want to say $400,000, which is the second most out of any concession that we have here. So even with that reduction, it's still higher than the only one that tops it is sea salt.
I'm just gonna tag in here. $515,000 last year, but it is higher than we've budgeted. So they're a high performer, but to Shane's point, they're a high performer, and every one of our concessions comes into a kind of, they settle in to kind of where they live within our parks and their business. So that's about where we were last year.
Thank you. Like I said, it was about 100,000, so it's like 350, 390 is where we ended up, which is right where the performer we had hoped for.
Thank you. I found this to be very interesting. And I actually, incidentally, just this week, I'm very numbers person, and I did like a quantitative analysis of how much more expensive is it to have a business operating, especially a restaurant in the city versus our first-ring suburbs, and it's a significant cost increase. So I'm grateful to keep an award-winning restaurant right here with us. So that's my take, although I really appreciate the questions. Seeing no other lights, all those in favor of Resolution 2025-166, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Would someone like to move our last resolution of the night? Anyone?
I'll move Resolution 2025-167, a resolution authorizing the use of Sourcewell contract number 120320-ATH with Becker Arena Products, Inc. for the purchase of ice rink equipment in an amount of up to $475,000 and transferring $10,000 from the emergency repair project in the 2025 Enterprise CIP to Parade Ice Garden.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? I see no lights, so I'm just going to take this to a vote. All those in favor of Resolution 2025-167, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Commissioner Mentz. And with that, I will declare the meeting adjourned at 6:22 p.m.